Jon Dore is a Canadian-born comedian and actor who touts his outsider status in the United States, even though he's been living in America for a decade. He's the star of Comedy Central's Big Questions, Huge Answers, and it's a pleasure to welcome here in studios. Thank you so much, Jon.
Thank you.
Canada has produced a remarkably long list of successful comedians. Will Arnett, Dan Aykroyd, Samantha Bee, Michael J. Fox, so many. Howie Mandel, Jim Carrey. What is in the water in Canada?
Norm Macdonald, Tom Green, everyone. What is in the water in Canada? That's a great question. I don't know. A deep desire to get out of there, maybe.
You have a green card. What do you make about the turmoil over immigrants here? Apparently, we don't want you.
Well,
no, we do want you. You're white.
Oh, interesting. Yes, there's a double standard, perhaps. You know, there are a lot of, I would say, white Canadians living illegally in America.
Illegally?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I've known some of them. Yeah.
How do they get away with it? Because they're white?
I don't know. Great question. But there seems to be trouble at the southern border. So that's one of our big questions that we'd like to ask if our show goes to series, and we have a huge answer for it, which I can't reveal now, because if I were to do that, no one would watch the show. But we do have a solution for it.
Explain the show.
So the show, we satire Vice News to a degree, which I enjoy. I love Vice News, but I think there's a fun sort of unobjective journalistic approach that they use, which I like. Their journalists will, when their interview subject agrees with their narrative, they'll say things like, cool, which immediately says there's no objectivity to this journalism. So we borrowed that format, and we like the idea of an outsider coming down to America pretending he's got all the answers. So the arrogant version, or the more arrogant version of myself that I get to play, decides that Americans can't solve the problem because they're too close to it. But
so you have all the answers.
Yes, in the show I have all the answers, and the two big questions we ask are we ask how to stop cyberbullying, and I solve that, and we also stop teachers from preying on students, which is a huge problem, especially in the state of Texas, and we solve both those problems.
Especially in the state of Texas.
Within a 3-year span, there were 700 incidents of impropriety reported. So teachers having inappropriate relationships with their students. In a 3-year
male to
period.
female and female to male?
You name it, either or. Male, male, female, male. I mean, this list goes on.
Why Texas?
Well, because there were 700 cases reported, and the next state with the next state with the most numbers was 45, and that was Pennsylvania.
Let's take a look at a clip.
Bring me your big questions, and I'll find you huge answers. I'm not an insider. I'm not the establishment. And I'm not American. Did I just get your attention? Join me as I solve the two biggest threats to our children's safety: cyberbullying and predatory teachers. Let's say your trolling made me blow my head off in a microwave. Were you ever attracted to any of your teachers?
No, I did not. I was not at all. However, I mean...
How old do you think I am?
35.
Pretty good answer.
Actually, 40.
Why'd you do that?
Jon.
Yes, Larry.
This is a little weird.
How so?
You don't think it's weird what you're doing?
What I'm doing?
Yeah.
Saving America? I don't think so. America's a great country.
You
got a problem? If you've got a problem with saving America, you've got a problem with me.
Good idea.
Thank you.
It's your role to make America a better place.
I think it's a worthy venture.
What do you say about cyberbullying?
Well, cyberbullying, I think, is an interesting problem. It's a phenomenon. I mean, bullying, I think, has always existed. I remember being bullied. But the difference today is, in my opinion, is that the internet has completely changed culture. So when I was bullied growing up, it's like a bully would, maybe I'd get punched in the face one day, or the fear of being punched in the face one day was scary. But, you know, the next day, you know, life kind of went on, or you could escape. I feel like the internet, impressionable young minds feel like that's there forever, and it will constantly haunt them. Like if a meme got circulated, a horrible meme got circulated around your high school, and you're an impressionable, vulnerable student, I think there's a complication there. So we analyzed that problem and figured out it was a tech problem. So it needs a tech solution. So we pitched an app and to real tech investors and incubators. And yeah, you'd have to watch the show to see how they react, but it's a brilliant idea. It was mine. And the tech investors, if you watch the show, you'll see if they invest or not.
Okay, you said in a recent interview that I feel overwhelmed with anxiety when it comes to the internet and Trump and all this aggression. Every time I put on the television, check my Twitter feed, I really feel it. Mm-hmm. What are you doing about it?
What am I doing about that? I'm turning it off. I mean, I go online to promote shows, like I'll tweet about this experience.
Right.
But I will not read anyone's opinion. Yeah, it's overwhelming. I'm now reading. I got into reading people's opinions about the news, and yeah, I didn't like the places my mind was going. So yeah, I'm trying to go off the grid as much as I can.
What's your view of Trump?
My view of Trump?
From the Canadian standpoint, how do you look down upon him?
Do I look
You
down
have a
upon
very
him?
popular prime minister, do you not?
Yeah, we have technically a popular prime minister in
What do you mean
Canada.
technically?
Well, liberal, conscientious. Here's what I would say. I think our prime minister has a great quality, and that's empathy. I think that's probably the most important quality.
Which our president doesn't have?
I don't think he does. Yeah. Personally, I don't think he does. And I think empathy is probably the most important quality that we could have.
Saying that, John, do you
Yeah.
fear deportation? With what's going on in America now with immigrants, you are an immigrant.
True, but I'm a legal, I'm a green card carrying resident alien. I have rights.
But he can remove your green card, can't he, with the power of one executive order?
That would be amazing.
How would you
If
like to be-
if I was an executive order,
if you were deported by Trump
I would love it. That would be great.
for what you have just said,
So if he held up an executive order and signed it and said, Jon Dore's out of here, that would be great for my career.
oh yeah, that you
Yeah.
have to do a show from Canada.
Fine. We could do it from Canada.
So what, they could do it.
Yeah, Canada's a great country. The mighty Canada, it's strong, it's powerful.
Is there any Donald Trump type in Canada?
Yes, Doug Ford.
Oh, Ford.
Remember Rob Ford's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember the great Rob Ford?
The mayor.
The greatest mayor in the history of civilization. Remember when he walked into the camera? Is there anything better than that? Remember when he smoked crack a couple times?
Yeah. John, a
Yes.
couple of questions.
Sure.
What kind of questions are you looking to answer?
Well, big questions. I want
Like?
to provide huge answers. Well, okay, so whatever divides America. So, for instance, you mentioned immigration. People are polarized on this issue. I think we can stop the fighting and find common ground. I think there's a happy medium to be
And
found.
what is that medium?
Well, again, I don't want to reveal this because when we go to series, by the way, I don't know if we're going to go to series. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How does one stay relevant in this business for this
I've
long?
been doing it for 61 years.
Yeah, I know.
I just think you got to keep doing it, and if the public accepts you, they're going to accept you.
Okay.
You can't force them to accept you, John.
True.
You can't grab the camera and say, like me.
Yeah,
You just have to be yourself. But you're funny, you're bright.
thank you.
I saw your bit with Conan, where you're attached to a horse. You have an unusual approach to comedy,
Yep.
and questions and answers are great because people are always looking for answers.
And I know I deflected there, but I appreciate that advice. And it's also going to stop me from grabbing the camera on the way.
Well, you know what I mean.
No, I know, but I was literally going to grab the camera and say, please, but I'm not going to do that now.
Don't do that.
But I deflected your question. I didn't mean to do that. I just feel like if I were to tell you the solution to the immigration debate,
You'd
it
take
would ruin
away
the
from the
ending
show.
of the show, yes, that we have planned.
But what will happen if, on my theory, you are deported? But
What is with this obsession of me being deported?
well, you said things against Trump, and you know the way he is.
Well, what did I say against Trump, really? All I said is that he lacks empathy. That's all I said, and he might agree with that. I think if Trump watched our show, he might say, this guy's got some great ideas, to be honest with you. We monetize bullying. He's probably going to like that as a capitalist.
You bet.
Yeah. Our cyberbullying app, by the way, targets hurtful words and terms, right? It's a very brilliant idea. Again, I came up with it. So we target hurtful words, and we use, like, what we want to use is the technology, like, we want to use places like the patriotic NSA or FBI, and we want to use their technology, but we want to use it instead of targeting terrorists. We want to target hurtful words and terms, so that if people try and tweet a horrible bullying text, the internet service providers and cell phone companies, which would receive a portion of the money, they will send a text to them saying, if you want to send this hurtful tweet, it's going to cost you money. So then, see what I'm getting at? So the bully will be charged money if they want to bully, and the victim of that bullying text will receive a portion of that money paid out in gift cards, so that they can buy expensive clothes and go on expensive vacations, and the bully will slowly lose money, and then there'll be a natural equilibrium. This is a brilliant idea that Trump would love.
You're a genius.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming,
You're a
John.
genius. Larry, a pleasure.
Thank you for your time today. We have learned so much.
So have I.
Jon Dore. Wow. Can't wait to see all your shows.
The great Larry King. Thank you.
I can't wait for the answer to immigration, if you're still here.